Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Travel Mold broadcast. And we're here at Huddle 23, and I'm delighted to have Lauren, who's the biggest cheese you could get within Visit Florida as far as international marketing is concerned. So I'm going to be asking her some questions. But how do they keep that top position as far as international visitation is concerned in the United States of America? So good afternoon, Lauren.
Good afternoon, Graham. Thanks for having me.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
And has this been a successful show for you so far?
This has been a great Florida Huddle. This year has just been incredible. We are thrilled, and we're almost at the end of it.
Yes. I hope that's not the thrill that we're at the end, but I agree. It's probably been the best huddle I've ever been to, and I've been to quite a few.
That's a huge compliment.
Yeah. So getting back to my opening statement is that, most people recognise now that Florida has taken number one position, or it did last year, in the whole of the United States. More people want to come to Florida than anywhere else. Whether that's the case for 2022, that's a matter of when the figures come out. But how do you keep that momentum going? That's the thing for me. And is it all about figures? Is it all about visitation figures? One of the things I've noticed is that we've returned very much to dollars, cents, and numbers, as opposed to quality of visit and quality of experience that one can get in Florida. So I wondered, as a general point, how do you keep your number one position?
Yeah, so that's kind of the million-dollar question, Graham. And I don't have a crystal ball, but what I can say is that one of the big pieces of that is remaining consistent. So Florida has remained consistent since the pandemic times. We've stayed in market. We've continued with our marketing and trade initiatives and PR initiatives, and we'll continue doing that, and we'll continue identifying ways to talk to sophisticated travelers like the UK market. We focus a lot on the Florida core, the things that people know and are going to come back again and again for, and then we'll educate them on those more components. And some of the ones that we're focusing on this year are culinary, luxury, and accessible travel. So I think it's just remaining in front of them and continuing to offer new options of things to see and do in our great state.
Good. And I am assuming that you're going to continue with what I would consider the normal activities of cooperative marketing with tour operators, etc., etc. When I go back to that other point, though, is about, you're talking about luxury, and that also means quality, quality of experience. And luxury is how do you define luxury? It's not necessarily hot and cold running gold taps or, that type of thing. Luxury can be isolation. Luxury can be seeing rare animals. Luxury can be all sorts of things. How are you defining that, and where are you going with that development?
Certainly, and the phrase luxury is a very subjective term, and this is something that we spend a lot of time talking to the different tour operators to kind of understand their definition of that. And luxury can be everything from 5-star hotels that offer all the amenities and top-tier service to VIP, behind-the-scenes private tours at different places, whether it be theme parks or culinary experiences where you sit at a chef's table. It just depends on each person's individual definition of that, but really highlighting that Florida is a player in that scene, that we do have lots of options that fall in categories that all people would consider luxury.
Good. The other aspect I noticed with the figures, and I did ask the question in the press conference, was about there seemed to be a slight dip in the number of families that were coming to Florida, or projection that potentially there was less families and it was more couples and potentially silver travelers like me. Have you taken those types of things into account in your marketing?
Certainly. I think, we identified different tour operator partners to work with, and depending on kind of their demographics, we catered those campaigns to their audiences. We work with everyone from Ocean Florida and Trail Finders, which reach totally different audiences, to the big players like British Airways, Virgin Atlantic, and Virgin Voyages. So we certainly look at, the travelers that are coming to Florida that we see through our visitor profiles, and then those specific niches that the UK tour operators reach, and customize those campaigns to reach those markets.
Talking of cruise, do you think that's an opportunity to add value, if you like, to the tourism pot, or to add in dollars into the tourism pot, and persuading people to stay, a couple of days before, a couple of days after, or even longer, to go on a tour and then get on a cruise? Because obviously you've got 3 huge cruise destinations here with Tampa and well, 4 if you include Keys and Miami and Lauderdale.
Yeah, 100%. So cruising is very popular in so many of our markets, and so that is definitely a pillar that we're going to focus on this year, and just again enhancing those educational opportunities for people to know what they can do pre and post cruise. And that can look like hosting FAMs to get the travel advisors and tour operators aware of those opportunities, because all of those key cruise ports have great places that are hub and spoke there that people can do fun things. You know, they might not want to stay in Miami the whole time or Fort Lauderdale the whole time before, but they're so close. So many of these destinations are close to the ports that they could stay before and after the cruise if they want, because we know our UK visitors stay for a significant amount of time.
Good. Well, I wish you all the very best of luck with keeping that number 1 position. I hope you do so. And perhaps we can have another chat this time next year and see how you get on.
That sounds great. Thank you so much, Graham.
Thank you.